Imagine being stabbed 23 times by your closest allies. This was the brutal fate of Julius Caesar, an event that forever changed the course of history. This shocking betrayal marked the end of Caesar's reign. But to understand this tragic end, we must first journey back to the beginning of Caesar's life. Julius Caesar was born into a noble family with long political ties. His rise to power was anything but ordinary. Young Julius was not content with the status quo. He yearned for more. Driven by ambition and a keen mind, he ventured into the political arena of Rome, a world filled with alliances and rivalries. His political journey was not smooth. He faced numerous challenges, but he was a strategist, a mastermind who knew how to turn adversity into opportunity. His charisma and eloquence won him allies, his cunning, enemies. But it was in the battlefields where Caesar truly shone. His military conquests were legendary, from the shores of Britain to the heart of Egypt. Each victory brought him not just wealth and fame, but also power. Power that he used to climb the political ladder of Rome step by step. With his power solidified, Caesar was on track to become one of the most influential figures in Roman history. As a leader, Julius Caesar was both loved and despised. His reign was marked by ambitious reforms and controversial decisions that shaped the Roman Republic in profound ways. To understand Caesar's impact, we must delve into the intricacies of his rule. Caesar was a reformer at heart, introducing a series of measures aimed at alleviating the plight of the poor. He restructured the Roman tax system, initiated public works, and even established a new calendar known as the Julian calendar, which is the precursor of the one we use today. These actions won him the admiration of the masses, who saw him as a champion of the people. Yet it was his controversial decisions that created a divide among the Roman elites. Caesar declared himself dictator perpetuo, or dictator in perpetuity, effectively ending the Roman Republic's tradition of limited-term rule. This move was seen as a direct threat to the aristocracy's power and the Republic's democratic principles. Another contentious decision was his generous granting of Roman citizenship to foreigners. While this was seen by many as a progressive move, it was also regarded as a ploy to expand his power base. It's this blend of audacious reforms and controversial decisions that made Caesar's reign so significant. But the increasing power of Caesar did not go unchecked. His actions sparked growing opposition among the Roman elite. They feared that Caesar's autocratic rule would strip them of their power and privileges. This fear, coupled with Caesar's perceived disregard for traditional Roman values, led to a growing resentment against him. Caesar's autocratic rule, his ambitious reforms and controversial decisions changed the face of the Roman Republic. He was a leader who dared to challenge the status quo, who sought to reshape Rome according to his vision. But as we will see, this audacity would come at a cost. Caesar's power and influence, however, made him many enemies. His reign was a period of great change, but it was also a time of great controversy, setting the stage for his eventual downfall. The Roman Senate was a hotbed of political intrigue, and Caesar's rule was no exception. In the lion's den of Roman politics, Caesar faced intense opposition from senators who viewed his growing power with suspicion. Conspiracy was a constant companion. Whispers of rebellion echoed through the marble halls as alliances shifted like the sands of time. Among the most notable of these conspiracies was the plot to assassinate Caesar. Orchestrated by a group known as the Liberators, it was a meticulously planned endeavor, born out of fear and resentment. Senators, once friends and allies, turned into scheming conspirators, plotting the downfall of the man who stood at the pinnacle of power. These were not just external conflicts. The Roman Senate was rife with internal strife as senators vied for influence and control. Power struggles were the order of the day, and loyalty was often a fleeting concept. These tensions would ultimately lead to one of the most infamous betrayals in history. On the Ides of March 44 BC, Caesar's reign came to a bloody end. The day started out like any other, but the tension in the air was palpable. Caesar, the man who had defied convention, challenged the status quo, and reshaped Rome, was walking towards his doom. Whispers of a plot against Caesar had been swirling around for weeks. His wife Calpurnia had even begged him not to go to the Senate that day, plagued by nightmares of his impending doom. But Caesar, ever the proud and defiant leader, dismissed these fears. He was a man who believed in his own invincibility. As he entered the Senate, The conspirators were waiting. Among them were Brutus and Cassius, men he had considered friends and allies. The plan was simple and brutal: overwhelm him with sheer numbers and stab him to death. And so it happened. As the Senate convened, the conspirators surrounded Caesar. He was caught off guard, initially fighting back, but soon overwhelmed. As the knives sank into his flesh, he looked up and saw Brutus among his attackers. His final words echoed through the marble halls. "Et tu, Brute? And you, Brutus?" This was not a question, but an expression of the deepest betrayal. The Senate was thrown into chaos. Caesar's body lay on the Senate floor, lifeless, a harsh symbol of the price of ambition. The conspirators had hoped that by eliminating Caesar, they could restore the old republic, but they had underestimated the love of the Roman people for their leader. Instead of quelling unrest, Caesar's death ignited a flame that would burn through Rome, leading to civil wars and the eventual fall of the Roman Republic. In the immediate aftermath, Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal ally, seized the moment. He delivered a fiery speech at Caesar's funeral, stirring the public's grief and anger, turning them against the conspirators. He read Caesar's will, revealing that Caesar had left his gardens and a generous sum of money to each Roman citizen, further fueling their love and admiration for their fallen leader. But it was Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, who would truly capitalize on the power vacuum left by Caesar's death. A shrewd and patient strategist, he outmaneuvered both Antony and the conspirators, consolidating his power and eventually transforming the Republic into an empire. He took the title Augustus, becoming Rome's first emperor, a role he would hold for over 40 years, ushering in an era of relative peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. Caesar's death was a turning point, setting the stage for a new era in Roman history. Despite his controversial reign, his impact was undeniable. His death marked the end of the Roman Republic, but his legacy lived on, shaping the course of the Roman Empire and the annals of history. Julius Caesar's influence didn't die with him. In fact, his death ignited a series of events that would forever alter the course of Roman history. The power vacuum left by Caesar's demise ushered in the rise of his adopted heir, Octavian, who would later be known as Augustus. This young, ambitious leader skillfully navigated the tumultuous political landscape, consolidating power and, in turn, transforming the Roman Republic into the Roman Empire. Under Augustus, Rome experienced a period of peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. This era was marked by significant advancements in infrastructure, arts, and culture, reflecting the enduring impact of Caesar's vision for a unified, powerful Rome. So, while Caesar's life was abruptly cut short, his influence lived on, shaping the trajectory of an empire and leaving a lasting legacy that resonates even today. Julius Caesar's legacy is undeniable, his life and death leaving an indelible mark on the annals of history. Caesar's story is a testament to the power of ambition and the fragility of political alliances. His rise and fall from grace, his innovative reforms, and his untimely demise at the hands of his closest allies all paint a vivid picture of a man who was as complex as the time he lived in. The story of Julius Caesar is just one chapter in the grand saga of Roman history. There are countless other figures and events that have shaped this ancient civilization, each with their own tales of triumph and tragedy. If you found yourself intrigued by the life and times of Julius Caesar, then I encourage you to delve deeper into the annals of Roman history. Seek out stories of other influential figures like Augustus, Pompey, and Cicero. Each played a pivotal role in shaping the Rome that we know today. And remember, history is not just about the past, it's about understanding the world we live in today. So, delve deeper, explore more, and stay curious.